All right, if I could have everyone's attention, we're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. And let the record reflect that this meeting was posted as required by the Texas Open Meetings Act. And we do have a quorum tonight. The first item on our agenda will be a moment of silence. I'd ask everyone just to take a moment if you could, please. Thank you very much. Mr. Strubhart, would you introduce our person for the Pledge of Allegiance tonight, please?
I sure will. Thank you, Mr. President. Trustees, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. Tonight's pledge will be led by Sebastian Sanchez. Sebastian is a proud Bowie Bobcat and is in first grade. He is a rising star in reading and inquisitive about the world around him. Sebastian loves to learn and is excited about coming to school each and every day. As a matter of fact, he has perfect attendance for this year so far. So far. He loves building with Legos and looks forward to becoming a member of the robotics team next year. When Sebastian grows up, he wants to become a martial arts teacher. He is joined tonight by his mother, Natasha Garcia, and his great-grandma, Noemi Medina. Ladies and gentlemen, Sebastian Sanchez.
Join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Sebastian, that is a terrific job. Thank you. Will you come back next year and do it again? All right. Thank you. At this time, I want to take a point of privilege. This board, with the exception of one member, is extremely, extremely proud of one of our members tonight. We want to recognize Dr. Nolan Pettis. I don't know how many of you all know it or not. It's been in the paper. Dr. Pettis has recently been selected by the governor of the state of Texas to be on the Board of Regents at the University of Texas at Austin. This, if you don't know it, is an incredible, incredible honor. He is the second person from Cameron County to ever be on the Board of Regents at the University of Texas at Austin, and it's been in establishment since the late 1800s. He's the fifth person in the history of the University of Texas from the Rio Grande Valley to be on the Board of Regents at the University of Texas. And we are so proud. I mean, he is such a credit to this community. The boards he serves on, he was recently, or still is, I guess, a member of the Board of Regents at TWU. He serves on numerous committees in Austin, UTRGV, throughout the valley. He's created scholarships for kids to go to school. Incredible, incredible asset to this community. And tonight we want to recognize him and thank him, and congratulations, Dr. Pettis.
And hook 'em horns.
Okay, our next item on the agenda is the recognition of TASB Student Video Contest winner, Shane Strubhart.
Mr. President, trustees, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience, presenting our first award this evening is Texas Association of School Boards trustee Yolanda Cuellar. Ms. Cuellar?
Good evening, board members. Dr. Cavazos, thank you for having me this evening. It's with great honor and pleasure to be here to announce the winners of our video contest. I believe I've been here before to present an awesome award, And as you being a member, a TASB board members, your district does participate in many, many other projects as well. You take advantage of the services that TASB does have to offer. This year, TASB sponsored a student video contest designed to give students an opportunity to tell others what makes their schools exceptional, why public schools deserve the support of their communities and state lawmakers, what makes Texas public schools the best choice, and how their school is making a difference in student lives and future success. Of course, numerous videos were submitted to TASB for competition, but we can only award one prize. In the different categories, we had first and second prizes in the categories of elementary, middle schools, and high schools. I am here tonight and so delighted and proud to announce the winner of this this contest. And for the second time in the history of the contest, in the elementary school category, the first place prize of $5,000 goes to Zavala Elementary School here in Harlingen. Congratulations. Also, they won the People's Choice Award in the elementary category with 870 start to finish views in a 5-day period. So once again, I'm so proud to be here as your representative on the TASB board. It does give me great honor. So at this point, we're going to watch just a little short clip of what our wonderful students did.
Defense race, that usually the Zavala newscast is on its way to the best school in the universe. Will they find out what makes Zavala the best Texas public school? Will they find out why they provide the best Texas public education? Or will they be lost in space forever?
Hey Aaron, I thought you knew where you were going. I do. We're in the universe. That's where we're supposed to be, right? I don't think so. Let's ask Siri. Good thing I brought my iPad. Hey Siri, where are you supposed to be going?
Zavala Elementary, the best Texas public school in the universe.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go! Hey Aaron, did we make it? Yeah, it says it right there. We're at Zavala Elementary. Okay, good. Let's go. Have we found anything yet? Yeah, I found out Zavala Elementary is an Apple Connect Ed school with a one-to-one technology device environment. All of their staff are Apple certified teachers and students are being provided college and career ready skills. Amazing! Let's go with Chris to get some hands-on footage of these accomplishments. Miss Cruz, can you tell us why Zavala Elementary is the best Texas public school?
Of course. Zavala is the best public school in Texas because our teachers put students first in their academics, in their classroom, and in every area of learning. We are also an Apple Distinguished School, which is a nationwide recognition that showcases all of the amazing things our teachers and students do together through digital learning. And that, Christopher, is what makes us the best public school in Texas.
Zavala Elementary also has a robotics team, newscast, UIL, student council, recycling club, and safety patrol to help students utilize their skills, voices, and creativity, along with extracurricular activities. Community and parent involvement play an important role in public schools to promote student educational growth. And that's why Zavala Elementary is the best Texas public school in the universe.
Thank you. At this time, we'd like our Board of Trustees, the students that all had to do a lot with this contest, please come down so that we can present the check. Once again, congratulations. Thank you for this wonderful video contest, boys and girls. We're all so proud of you because you have another feather to your hat on this wonderful accolade. So once again, great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Fleurier.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Quaker. I just would like to take this opportunity to tell Zavala how super proud we are of you. You know, we have been watching you all for a long time. And several years ago, bingo, here comes the whole country, the United States of America. And you were selected one of 100 schools, right, to do the Apple Project. That was huge, huge, because it showed to the entire United States, not just the state of Texas and not just the Rio Grande Valley, what we already knew in Harlingen, and that is that Zavala is on the move. You all are doing a wonderful job. And now here, once again, you have brought distinction to yourselves, to your families, to your community, and to public education. So we want to say, way to go, Zavala Elementary. I just love it that you're in my neighborhood. Congratulations. Congratulations.
President,
Mr. Hymas?
I just wanted to congratulate not just the teachers and the parents, but the students for putting together such a great piece of package, a video package. My background is in journalism, and my whole story was about my whole life. My job was to tell stories, and I believe that there's always a story to tell. That we can go into the crowd right now and pick anybody at random and tell the story. Everybody has a story to tell. And what's harder probably to do, anything that you guys did, was to tell the story of Zavala. And I just encourage you guys to keep telling that story. I wish we would have had a bunch of these programs or opportunities when we were kids. Maybe I would have decided sooner that I wanted to be a journalist. I'm not a working journalist, but I still work in the media, kind of like Shane does. And I just want to congratulate you guys. You guys did a very great and professional job with this video, teachers. Thank you for being there for the students and being able to give them another avenue, another choice so that they can enjoy their education with us at HCISD. Thank you.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Yes, sir, please.
Zavala, Ms. Garza, and staff, congratulations, of course. Was it 2 years ago that you won? So is this rigged by TASB? I'm just wondering, because that's the whole state of Texas. That's amazing. That's awesome. And I know 2 years ago when I was there at the school, you had some amazing students. I know you still have some amazing students. They got to interview me, and they were so professional and so polite. And so you guys are doing an awesome job. It's so good to see you up there having fun and doing a great job at it. So congratulations to every single one of you. Parents, where are the parents at? Can you please stand up if you're in the
parents of the children?
They need to get a round of applause. There we go. Let's not take this for granted. I mean, it takes time to do this stuff. It's extracurricular, etc. So thank you, parents, for being involved with these beautiful and amazing children. Of course, thank you, staff, for putting it all out there. Thank you, guys. Congratulations.
Okay, our next item on the agenda is the recognition of the NSDA Middle School National Qualifiers. Leanne Ince.
Wow.
Good evening, Mr. President, trustees, Dr. Cavazos, administrative team, and audience. I am honored once again to stand here before you to recognize these young individuals who battled it out for 2 days in February to qualify for the National Speech and Debate Association Middle School National Tournament that's going to be held in Dallas, June 17th through the 22nd. This is the second year in this initiative, and I have watched it grow by leaps and bounds since its first year, and I have some news that I'll share with you after we recognize these students that is proof that it is working. So if Dr. Cavazos and Mr. Powers, if you would come down and help me pass out these certificates as we recognize these young leaders Qualifying from Memorial Middle School, 7th grader, Aiden Rios, in extemporaneous speaking. This is Aiden's second year in a row to qualify. From Vernon Middle School, 8th grader Daniel Valez in Lincoln Douglas debate. Also qualifying from Vernon Middle School, 8th grader Dathan Trevino in congressional debate. And we are super proud. This is Vernon's first year to take part in the initiative, and they've done a phenomenal job. Oh, and parents, if you would like to take a photo, I see Mrs. Cannell. We'll take it for you. Sure. There you go. From Coakley Middle School, 8th grader Madison Hushin in Lincoln Douglas debate. Also a 2-year qualifier, 8th grader Alec Araguz, who qualified in duo interpretation, humorous interpretation, and informative speaking. They could qualify in up to 3 events. He took all 3. His partner, Amber Bender, 6th grader. Congratulations to Amber Bender. And 7th grader, Christopher High School in impromptu speaking. From Vela Middle School, 6th grader Eric Mata, impromptu speaking. Seventh grader Sadie Jensen in extemporaneous speaking and humorous interpretation. Eighth grader, Christopher Rigianu, informative speaking and original oratory, also a 2-time national qualifier as well as Sadie. Sixth grader Abigail Garza in duo interpretation. Sixth grader Adriana Rodriguez in dramatic interpretation, prose interpretation, and duo interpretation. And yes, she is a sixth grader. Eighth grader and two-time qualifier, Kylie Mitchell in dramatic interpretation. Eighth grader, Katie Velasquez in prose interpretation. Sixth grader, Christopher Posada, poetry interpretation. And seventh grade in poetry interpretation, Alejandra Posada. At this time, I would like to recognize the fearless leaders of this group that spend countless hours after school with them and overnight at tournaments, which we'll talk about in a second. If I could have Mrs. Julia Wise for Coakley Middle School come up. Julie Garza from Memorial Middle School. Manuel Hernandez from Vernon Middle School. Garcia, I'm sorry. I changed your name. Yvette Connell from Vela Middle School. Now, this is what I wanted to bring up that was kind of a surprise because these guys decided they were going to take the qualifiers to get them prepped for nationals at the first ever National Junior Speech and Debate Association state tournament that was held at Klein High School in Houston. It was the first ever. It was a very well-run tournament, a huge turnout from students all over Texas. We had no idea what we were walking into. And I have to point out that we had 1, 2, 3 state finalists, and we made history by bringing back 2 state champions. And I would like to recognize those state champions that are with us tonight. Sadie Jensen, a 7th grader, won the whole thing in humorous interpretation. Step forward. And if this is pretty amazing, Adriana Rodriguez stepped forward. She took straight ones from all 5 judges in the final round. She is a 6th grader in prose interpretation. If you were a finalist at that state tournament, please step forward. Wow. The future is bright. If the board would like to come down and we could take a photo at this time.
Hey, guys, remember this big camera first. Go anywhere? Take a parent. Oh. Everyone look over here.
And just one more, I just want to say on behalf of all of the high school coaches that received the students that went through this initiative last year, if anyone wants to question if it's working, the one-act play that just advanced to regionals, when was that? My weeks are blurred. A few days ago. They'll be competing next Monday at the regional one-act play competition for the third year in a row. 5 of the cast members are freshmen.
Wow, that's incredible.
Never in my entire career have I seen that many underclassmen carry a play where it's at today. That is incredible. So I just had to throw that out there, and they all came through this initiative. Thank you.
He has a question real quick, Leah.
Would you tell the audience about your 2 state champions this year that you have?
Yes,
what area?
and I thought they were going to be here recognized tonight, but they've been a little busy. But we also did bring home from the Texas Forensic Association state meet. John Duncan was the state champion in humorous interpretation, and Faith George Zepeda from Harlingen High School was the state champion in poetry. That has not happened in a long time, where you had both high schools bringing home a state champion at the same tournament. And John was also named the overall outstanding speaker of the entire tournament, which we have never received that honor as well.
Wow.
So a lot of records being broken. I'm telling you, these kids are something else. And when I look at this group, I just can't even imagine. I'm not going anywhere for a while. I can tell you that. It's exciting.
Leanne, we're not going to let you go anywhere.
That's right.
Are there parents here of these children tonight? Would y'all please
Yes,
stand?
please stand.
Please stand.
Parents.
We want to recognize you. Wow.
Thank you.
Well, don't go away. I know a few board members want to say something. I'm going to start with Mrs. Fleurier.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I'm just over here popping to say something. We are so extraordinarily proud because, you know, we were just talking, Dr. Reiniger and I, that if there is a legacy from this era, I believe that one of the legacies from this era, Dr. Cavazos, is going to be that we are no longer, as are so many, a silo district. We do not have silo campuses of excellence. We have a district of excellence, and we all loved seeing and hearing these children come forward, these young adults, men and women come forward from so many different campuses, because, Leanne, it proves what you're saying. It is happening in this district, and it is happening district-wide. And so no longer do you have to go one place to be excellent, whether it's in band or singing or speech drama debate or math or whatever, but it is throughout this district, and that has been a huge accomplishment under Dr. Cavazos and his staff's leadership. And Leanne, we are so grateful to have you and your excellence as well as the other teachers. So students, we have been watching some of you for a long time, and some of you are new to us. We cannot wait as the years go by to see your faces again and again and again. May I say one more thing, please? I had the distinct honor and great pleasure of attending Sunday night's performance in McAllen of a multitude of school districts presenting their finest actors and actresses in performances, both dramatic and musical. And I am here to stay, and I will take my stand on the fact that no one from anywhere else in the valley, excellent and wonderful as their performances were, could hold a candle to what Harlingen was presenting. It was a moment of enormous personal excitement and joy and gratitude for all of us who were there. So thank you very much. And please tell those students they showed the world of South Texas what dramatic and musical events are all about. And that's the future for these children. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Fleurier. The next item is recognition of students who competed at the Texas Association of Future Educators state competition. Mr. Alvarez.
Mr. Alvarez, before you start, where's Eric? Eric? Eric, can you come up to the podium real quick? Since the president put you on the spot, and one of the questions was, and it was a teaser because you had said that if you had a choice, you'd want to ask the superintendent something. But now you have us all thinking and wondering what it was.
I don't think that was me.
It was
Oh. Where is he at? Come on up. I'm sorry.
Eric, you can stay too.
Eric, but you can hold.
Do you have a question for the superintendent?
Eric, yeah, would you like to ask the superintendent a question?
I would consult with your teacher first.
Well, you're going to be his right-hand man for right now.
Now, this gentleman, as he's walking up, he did say he wanted to be the future superintendent. So why don't you ask yourself the question, young man?
Don't put him on the spot. Don't get him on. So what was the question?
If I can have a conversation with the superintendent, what would I say?
Wow. Well, he's right there. What would you say?
What was your question last night?
I asked if we can have longer summers.
And Mr.
How many more months did you want, young man?
12.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. He's gonna work on it. Sorry, Mr. Alvarez.
12 of them.
You got a hard act to follow, Raul.
That's a hard act.
I know.
I'm telling you. Good evening, Mr. President, school board members, Dr. Cavazos, senior administration, and members of the audience. Thank you for providing us this opportunity in recognizing TAPI tonight. Now, TAPI is the Texas Association of Future Educators. These are our future teachers. They are a co-curricular statewide CTE student organization created to allow young men and women an opportunity to explore the teaching profession. The organization was created in 1984 to provide the best and brightest high school and middle school students in Texas with the necessary knowledge to make informed decisions about pursuing careers in education. Advancing from the region TAPI competition, 18 HHS TAPI students traveled to Allen, Texas to compete in the state TAPI competition last month. The following 16 students received blue ribbons, which is the highest honor in the state competitive events. Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, if you would please help in recognizing these students. You want to get it up? Teacher-created materials, elementary individual competition. Damon Cantu. Teacher Created Materials Elementary Team Division, Brianna Coronado and Victoria Guerrero. Victoria may be out. A second team earned blue ribbons in the same category, Madison Cannon and Yadira Ortega. Interactive Bulletin Board Elementary Team, Chloe Lukes and Leslie Gonzalez. A second team in the same division earned blue ribbon. Got it? Some. Daniel Macy and Alexis Exenia. Astiel. He's also one of our firefighters. Interactive Bulletin Board Individual, Teresa Ancisto. Project Visualize Service Team, Blanca Gonzalez and Yadira Ortega. Breakout session, Alejandra Llanas and Alexis Exenia. Now, the following two students competed in the national qualifying event and placed in the top 10 in the state of Texas. Job interview, Mary Claire Todd. Educators Rising Moment, Ali Guillen. And these are HCISD TAPI participants in state.
Yes.
Who did I miss? Who did I miss? Did I miss one? We will see. Right here. Teacher Created Materials Secondary Teams. My apologies. That's on me. Emily Barrientos and Alexandra Moreno. Now, these are your Tappy State. We would also like to recognize their sponsor, Teresa Cuellar, and her assistance in helping me. Parents, y'all come.
No. Damn. Say it all.
Right?
Say it.
We won't be missing.
Oh, boy. Okay. Huh? Do we have some parents here tonight?
Parents of the Taffy kids,
Please.
please stand. Parents, come on, yay!
Thank you all very much.
If I could, Mr. President, if I could say, so a lot of folks, like to say the most noble profession is this or that, whether it's physicians or this or that, whatever. But I can assure you that I think there's pretty unanimous agreement that educators are really the most noble profession because teachers make all of the professions possible. So I'm really proud to see such bright young folks interested in becoming educators. You really will shape our future in more ways than you can imagine, and so we really appreciate that. And how timely in what we're doing with our teacher preparation, and then back mapping it to our teacher residency, which will be the future campus here with UTRGV combined with the ECHS with a huge focus on educator preparation. So thank you all for being here. Thanks to the parents for encouraging your kiddos to go into this line of work and this profession, and so they're going to inspire generations. So thank you guys.
Mr. President, could I just add, students, don't forget HCISD is where you came from, and we hope you come back. We want teachers like you
She's
forever here.
already recruiting you.
That's right. We're just
Thank you, Raul. All right, the next item is the recognition of students who competed at the Health Occupational Student Association State Conference. Raul.
Good evening, Mr. President, school board members, Dr. Cavazos, senior administration, and members of the audience. Thank you for providing us this opportunity in recognizing HOSA tonight. The mission of HOSA is to empower future health professionals to become leaders in the global health community through education, collaboration, and experience. The following students competed recently at the HOSA District Conference and placed in their specific skill area and advanced to state competition in San Antonio last week. In addition, 4 of these students qualified to compete at the HOSA International Competition to be held June 18th through the 22nd in Orlando, Florida, the International HOSA Competition. Their sponsors will be making a formal request to the board for this competition later on in this board. So, Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, if you would please help us in recognizing these students. Students, when you hear your names, please come forward. Representing HHS, we have Allison Fuente. We have Devani Esparza, I'm not too- maybe absent. Lauren Boykin. And Cameron Hale. From the Harlingen School of Health Professions, Maleni Arredondo. Not here? You're not here? Caleb Brenning. Aaron Castillo. Now, Dr. Cavazos, Aaron also qualified to compete in the nationals, the international in the area of health careers. And another side note for Aaron, he is currently the Texas host of vice president for the state, and he was also endorsed to become a national executive council candidate. Madison Constantine. Matthew Garcia. William Horn. Morgan Johnson. Lily Lerma. Jacqueline Magno. She also qualified for internationals. Ana Ramos. Ana also qualified for international. Juliana Lucio. Marco Martinez. Brianna McLean. And she is another international qualifier. In the area of pharmacology. Pharmacy. Miranda Cano. Therese Gumban. Jose Herrera. Katia Gonzalez. Ashley Galvan. And Sofia Canchola. These are HCISD, HOSA, state and international student representatives, future winners. We would also like to recognize their sponsors, Mrs. Monique Rodriguez from HHS, Ms. Selena Gonzalez, who's on maternity leave from HHS, from Harlan School Health Professions, Raquel Garcilaso, Federico Gonzalez, and Marisol Prado. Members, trustees, if you could please come up for photo, we'd really appreciate it. That'd be nice. It'd be an honor. Everybody there, take the first. Here, take the smile. Stay there. Go ahead and take your seat.
Oscar, you gonna keep it short today?
I have a lot of work.
Do we have any parents with us tonight of these children? Are these students, young people?
Parents? Yay!
All right.
Mr. President, I just wanted to commend all of the students on their hard work. The skills that it takes to excel at this level is tremendous. The staff and faculty who train you to do this, I'm so impressed. I don't know if this is true, but this looks like a huge contingent of students who have risen to this level. So I think our healthcare, our education system, our healthcare is in good hands. So I'm very excited. Congratulations to all of you.
Okay. Our next item is the next item is recognition of students competing at the National Federal Business Leaders Association. Mr. Alvarez?
Good evening, Mr. President, school board members, Dr. Cavazos, senior administration, and members of the audience. Thank you for providing us the opportunity in recognizing FBLA today. Future Business Leaders of America is a nonprofit educational association which prepares students for careers in business and business-related fields. It is their mission to bring business and education together in a positive working relationship through innovative leadership and career development programs. Advancing from the regional FBLA state competition held in early March are 2 HCISD students from HHS and 6 from Harlingen South who will represent the district in FBLA at the National FBLA competition to be held June 27th through July 3rd in San Antonio, Texas. Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, if you please come and help us recognize these students. Students, when you hear your name, please come forward. From HHS in the area of marketing, Mary Claire Todd. Network design, Julian Trujillo. From Harlingen South, Parliamentary Procedures Team, William Bell. Matthew Cavazos.
Yeah, they.
Valeria Montero. Yeah, you here? Christopher Rayner. Summer Wade. Impromptu speaking, Jose Cecilio. And these are the HCISD FBLA representatives. We'd like to recognize their sponsors, Mrs. Teresa Cuellar from HHS and Mr. Marcos Almanza from Arlington South.
He's having too much fun with it. Yeah. Yeah. $5.
All right.
That's a lot better
Thank you
than
for reminding. Do we have any parents here tonight?
Parents.
Please, would you all please stand and let us recognize you? Do we have any grandparents here tonight?
Grandparents.
All right. Thank you all very much. The next item on our agenda is recognition of student competition at DECA International Competition. Mr. Alvarez.
Good evening, Mr. President, school board members, Dr. Cavazos, senior administration, and members of the audience. Thank you for providing us this opportunity in recognizing DECA tonight. With nearly a 70-year history, the Distributive Education Clubs of America, DECA, prepares emerging leaders and entrepreneurs for careers in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management. Advancing from local competitions this past February, 15 HCISD HHS DECA students traveled to Dallas to compete in the state DECA Career Development Conference. Of these students, one student qualified for the International Career Development Conference to be held April 27th through the 30th in Orlando, Florida. Her DECA sponsor will be making a formal out-of-state travel request to you later on in this meeting. Mr. President and Dr. Cavazos, if you please help me in recognizing the student.
These many students. Oh, wow.
Take one guess. From Arlington High School, Mary Claire Todd. We'd also like to recognize her sponsor, Judy Hernandez.
Mary Claire just found out yesterday that she got the Terry Scholarship and got a full ride to Texas Tech.
Okay, our next item is the recognition of the FFA students who competed at the Rio Grande Valley Livestock Show. Raul Alvarez.
Good evening, Mr. President, school board members, Dr. Cavazos, senior administration, and members of the audience. Thank you for providing us this opportunity of recognizing FFA tonight. FFA is an intracurricular student organization for those interested in agriculture and leadership. FFA makes a positive difference in the lives of students by developing their potential for personal growth through hands-on experiences, which gives members the tools to achieve real-world success. The following HCISD students representing FFA placed at the Rio Grande Valley Livestock Show held in March in Mercedes, Texas on March 8th through 17th during spring break. Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, if you would please come help us in recognizing these students. Be an honor. Students, when you hear your name, please come forward. GOAT Division, first place and reserve champion, Arlington South, Kylie Mitchell. Breeding Heifer Division, first place and third place, Arlington South, John Keebler. Market Swine Division, first place and second place, and Horticulture Division, champion overall. From Gano in the HHS FFA is Trent Gilbert.
Congratulations.
Market Swine Division, first place, and Public Speaking, first place and division champion, and Market Hog Division, first place from HHS, Kara Cash. Market Swine Division, first place and breed champion from HHS, Kelly Sadie Cat.
She's younger. She's younger. Awesome. Awesome. Tell your folks I said hello. I see your mama out there.
Market Swine Division, first place, from Harlingen South, Sarita del Valle. Breeding Hog Division, first place, Harlingen South, Naylin Jimenez. Market Rabbit Division, Good Housekeeping Champions, I believe, for the second year in a row. Third. Very impressive. From HHS, Nicholas Bauer. Part of the team also, Matthew Gutierrez.
Don't drop it.
Another member of the team, Abigail Lamas. Team member Abigail Mendoza. Team member Carolina Munoz. Team member Heaven Navarro. Team member Karen Olvera. And team member Iori Villasana. Art Division, Black and White, first place, from Harlingen South, Landry Mitchell. Art Division, first place in Elements and Design, Arlington South, Brandon Nieto. Shop division, first place, outdoor division, and third overall, Leighton Stevens. Shop division, first place, livestock division from Harlingen South, Abraham Leal. Shop division, first place, outdoor furniture from Harlingen South, James Wade. Shop division, first place, outdoor furniture team from Harlingen South, Jonas W. Vela. Team member Elias Rodriguez. And Jacoby Ortiz. And these are our HCISD FFA winners. We would also like to recognize their sponsors for their countless hours of work that they put in to help these young learners and students become who they are. Mr. Kerry Cash and Mr. Andres Gonzalez from HHS. And Ms. Christian Wright and Jesse Guerra from Arlington High School South. Board members, please, if you could come down for one photo, we would really appreciate it.
Congratulations, everyone. Y'all want to go ahead and take a
Lottie, you want to say something?
I know.
Say something.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Don't leave yet. Hold on.
Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Mr. Reyes, stop him.
Guards. Mr. Hymas?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to congratulate you all, and since our former board member, Mr. McShann's not here, I'm going to say something he would have said. FFA played an important part in his life. If you guys remember, Mr. McShann was a former board member here for many years, and he always talked about the importance that FFA, or the role that FFA played in his education, not just at the high school level, but the impact that it had with him throughout his life, as far as being the great speaker that he was, the educational champion that he was, everything that he was. You know, he credited a lot of that success to FFA and his experience there. So you guys are off to a great start in life. You know, when I see this large group come in and get this recognition, I want to congratulate you guys, not just for achieving the success you have achieved, but for representing Harlingen and the Harlingen School District so well. And just keep it up. You know, to the instructors, thank you for the time you put in. To the parents, you know, this isn't just them putting in the time. It impacts the whole family, the parents, siblings. We have siblings up here. And so just congratulations, keep it up, and thank you for representing us so well.
I want to first, I'd like to ask the parents of these students to please stand.
Parents, any
Please. And I also want to ask our ag teachers to please stand.
Ag teacher.
You know, I'm sorry that we didn't have you all up at the beginning of the program, because I wish the whole audience knew this, but people don't realize with all of these different associations that we have, the time that these teachers and ag teachers and other professionals in our district spend with these kids after school. And I know I've watched the ag program for many years. These people go on trips, they give up their weekends. Nightly, they're out there at the ag barn working with these kids, helping them with their animals. And it's really you've got to love this to be in it. And y'all do just a remarkable job. And our district is so well represented at the stock shows. Thank you so much for what you do. I do have one other thing I'd like to say, Mr. Cash. The board didn't get invited this year to compete for the to see who could.
Yes, we did.
We did. Well, I didn't get the memo. I guess because they thought I'd win, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all very much.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, the next item, Raul, you finally get to go home. Miss Brianna Vela Garcia, our PTSA Students of the Month for April. Also, if y'all didn't notice, Miss Vela has been honored as one of the cover girls on one of our local Valley magazines.
That's right.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. Well, good evening, Mr. President, board members, Dr. Cavazos, administration, and audience. I am delighted to be recognizing our April Harlingen City Council PTSA Students of the Month this evening. These students proudly represent Harlingen High School South, Early College High School, and Harlingen School of Health Professions. Produced by our very own Media Arts and Communications Academy students, we hope you enjoy this video.
My name is Robert Cole Sweeney. I'm a senior at Harlingen High School. I play football. I was a co-captain in that. I run track. I was a regional qualifier last year, and I'm a member of National Honor Society. I'm very passionate about taking pride in anything that I do, whether it be athletics or academics. I will be attending Texas A&M. I'll be studying chemical engineering, and I'll be a member of the Texas A&M Corps of Cadets.
My name is Umberto David Ceja. I'm a senior at Harlingen High School. I'm involved with band, engineering club, chess, and PTSA. I'm the president of the chess club. My dream is to graduate college, get a good job, and to come back and help my mom with whatever she needs. I'm going to be attending Texas A&M Kingsville, and I'm going to be studying mechanical engineering.
My name is Asa Britton. I'm a 12th grader, and I go to Harlingen South. I'm currently in varsity tennis. We're playing district soon. I'm hoping to qualify for regionals. I'm very involved in PTSA. I'm currently the vice president. And me and my father both kind of co-run a goat raising business where we raise goats and we sell them to like the FFA kids for them to show in the stock show. My dream, I'd say, is to graduate from Texas A&M with an electrical engineering degree, probably move somewhere up north and just get a nice job, settle down with a family. I'm going to Texas A&M. I've been accepted into an engineering school, so I'm going to be studying hopefully electrical engineering. They don't let you choose first year, so I'm going to feel it out and see how I like it.
My name is Alexander Castillo. I go to Harlingen South, and I am in 12th grade, a senior. I'm currently involved in jazz, salsa. I was in marching band. Currently, right now, I'm also in indoor, Latin, NHS, student council. The reason why I'm passionate about medicine is because my grandfather was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal colon cancer. If I had been more knowledgeable or more understanding of medicine, I could have possibly been able to catch the signs and possibly save his life. So I just want to be able to provide people with the same saving knowledge that possibly could have saved my grandfather's life. Currently, I'm in between going to A&M College Station or staying here at UTRGV. It's wherever I get the most money. But I do want to pursue a degree in biology and then hopefully pursue a doctoral degree in medicine.
My name is Julissa Cabral. I am in 12th grade and I attend Early College High School. Some activities that I am involved in are National Honor Society, Student Council, and I am Honorary Secretary for chess. Something that I am most passionate about is helping others, so I'm hoping to pursue a career in nursing. I will be attending TSDC next year to get my associates in applied science and then hopefully to transfer to UTRGV for my bachelor's.
Hello, my name is Braxton Macias and I'm currently a senior at Early College High School. I'm currently a historian for class cabinet and I'm in drama, chess, and student council. I don't think I've really found my passion yet, but this has actually led me to have a dream of wanting to join the Navy, so I guess meeting new people and going different places would help me find my passion eventually. I plan to go to Texas A&M and study technology management just so I can kind of get a gist of everything that has to do with technology, such as software programming and everything like that.
My name is Jacqueline Magno. I'm in 12th grade and I currently attend the Harlingen School of Health Professions. So I am currently the Student Council President here at the Harlingen School of Health Professions, and I am also in HOSA Future Health Professions. I compete in healthcare display with my partner Erin, and I also am involved in audio and video here at my school. Some of my work was featured at the 7th Annual Student Film Awards last year, and with the little free time that I do have, I like to attend church at St. Anthony's Catholic Parish here in Harlingen, and I also like to play piano and I like to write. My dream would have to be one day publishing a book. Ever since I was little, I would carry around like little journals and pens and I would write in it whenever I had a free moment. And so I think to be able to integrate creativity into my career, whether that be in the medical field or otherwise, I think that would be the ultimate dream. I'm planning on attending the University of Texas at Austin as a liberal arts honors student, and I'm planning on majoring in rhetoric and writing. Hook 'em.
My name is Erin Castillo. I'm in the 12th grade and I attend the Harlingen School of Health Professions. So I'm involved mainly in HOSA, which is HOSA Future Health Professionals, and until recently I was the Texas HOSA State Vice President. My term just ended last week. But it's been really fun. You get to really interact with members and help lead people in a really big setting. And I also compete in healthcare display with my partner Jackie. And it's been really fun, and HOSA is just a really good opportunity, you know, to really get introduced to the medical professions and have something fun to do in high school. I think I'm most passionate about helping people. I don't really know how I want to help people right now. I'm not sure if I want to become a doctor or become a flight attendant, because that's something I'm also interested in. It's just changing all the time, but we'll see what happens, you know. I don't know where I'm going to school yet. Last week I was actually just accepted to Brown, Columbia, and Georgetown. So I'm not sure where I will be. I have to till the end of this month to decide, so I'm going to be visiting and doing different things to really find out and see where I'll be in a couple of months. My major would depend on where I go, so it'll have to do something with medicine, so either like global or public health or anthropology.
I want to give them another round of applause because
Yeah,
they're pretty amazing. I know there are many proud family members in the audience tonight, so if you're here, may you please stand and be recognized?
Families.
The video will be available on YouTube for you all to watch again starting tomorrow. So I'll be inviting the students to come forward for a photo. Dr. Cavazos and Mr. Powers, can you please come forward? Okay. From Harlingen High School, we have Cole Sweeney. We also have David Seha. From Harlingen High School South, we have Asa Britton. We also have Alexander Castillo. From Early College High School, we have Braxton Macias. We also have Julissa Cabral. From Harlingen School of Health Professions, we have Erin Castillo. And we have Jacqueline Magno. Now I'd like to invite the board to come up for a photo, please.
56, 58. Gee, I was last place. Well, I just want to make one comment. That these students are remarkable. Brianna, you said that a minute ago. I mean, you all are such a model for our school district, and you represent us so well, the brand of HCISD. So thank you all so much. And parents, would you all stand up if hopefully you're still here? Parents, I think everybody. You've done an incredible job. I know you're proud. I want to take an item out of order here. So a young lady who's got so much hardware to take home tonight, she can get home earlier. I want to take 8C, approval of out-of-state trip for Harlingen High School DECA student to attend the DECA International Career Development Conference in Orlando, Florida on April the 26th through the 30th, 2019.
Hi, good evening, Mr. President, school board members, Dr. Cavazos, senior administration, members of the audience. This past February 15, HHS DECA members traveled to Dallas to compete in the the state DECA conference, and one of our students qualified for the international conference in Orlando, Florida. So it will be held April 27th through the 30th in Orlando, Florida. We would like to request from the board approval to travel to Orlando to compete in this competition.
All right, do I have a motion?
Mr. President, I move approval of the out-of-state trip for Harlingen High School DECA student to attend the DECA International Career Development Conference in Orlando, Florida on April 26th through the 30th, 2019.
Second.
I think we got Dr.
The entire board.
So I guess it's going to pass. All right, we have a motion by Dr. Reiniger, seconded by, I think Dr. Muniz was a little quicker on the draw. So is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is the approval of our minutes for the March 19, 2019 regular board meeting. They've been in our packets, and I know everybody's looked at them, so are there any corrections or additions to the minutes?
Mr. President, I move approval of the March 19, 2019 regular board meeting minutes as presented.
Moved by Dr. Pettis, seconded by Dr. Muniz. Any further comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Minutes are approved unanimously. The next is our principal's report. Mrs. Galan.
Right. Okay. Good evening, Board President, Dr. Cavazos, members of the board, senior team, and audience. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight to present to you a new and exciting reading program being implemented in our kinder through second grade classrooms. Bowie Elementary has a tradition of academic excellence, and that is in part to our fantastic staff and students, not to mention great programs brought to us from the district. With that said, we are always looking for new and engaging ways to maximize learning opportunities for our students, especially in the area of reading, because we know the importance of establishing a strong literacy foundation and the impact it has on future learning. Scholastic has provided our teachers with a vast, leveled book room, which are the literacy libraries, in which enable teachers to implement guided reading, which focuses on targeted reading skills and strategies, a reading package that will make a significant impact on all of our students. In alignment with the district's strategic plan, literacy libraries provide teachers with ongoing professional development, provide students with an individualized reading instruction based on data. In addition, through guided reading, teachers will be targeting reading skills, enabling students to communicate, collaborate, and think critically. Lastly, in line with the district goal of having all of our second graders reading on grade level, through the implementation of guided reading and literacy libraries, this goal will be achieved. Research shows students who don't read proficiently by third grade are 4 times more likely to drop out of school. In addition, 2/3 of students who cannot read proficiently by 4th grade are more likely to end up in jail or on welfare. So what if I told you there was a reading program that can put our students on the right track? A program that is data-driven, emphasizes on flexible small groupings, focuses on targeted reading instruction, provides differentiated reading instruction based on students' needs and interests, and is an ongoing process. That is guided reading. Literacy libraries make this possible. So as you think of Scholastic's guided reading and literacy libraries, I want you to think of literacy libraries as the vehicle that drives guided reading. Literacy libraries encompass running records which gather and track student data and identify their strengths and areas of need. Leveled books enable teachers to develop a very prescriptive, purposeful lesson plan for each guided reading group. Students are grouped by their needs and instructional level. This valuable information is gathered through running records. Each reading level provides choice. There are 10 titles in various genres in English and in Spanish. Teaching cards come with each book and provide suggestions on the reading skills and strategies that teacher may target with that book. Guided reading. The beauty of guided reading is teachers are already implementing learning centers in their classrooms. This will now be integrated into their literacy learning center time. Guided reading utilizes best practices for all students. Students are gathered in small, flexible groupings based on their needs and instructional level. They target important reading skills and strategies such as phonemic awareness and word chunks, as well as metacognitive strategies such as context clues and inferencing. Equally as important, the teacher supports, models, and teaches students what good readers do, ultimately to develop independent, fluent readers. As previously mentioned, in line with the district's goal of having our second graders reading on grade level, Ms. Alvarez and Mrs. Romero invested in the Scholastic's literacy libraries and guided reading program for the district. This past August, during our district's extravaganza, all HCISD kinder through second grade teachers were introduced to literacy libraries and guided reading. During the next couple of months, Scholastic provided our critical skills teachers and LMS's valuable trainings to ensure they were knowledgeable and confident in the program and its components to support teachers in the new reading program. In turn, our critical skills teacher and LMS held campus trainings to educate, model, and support teachers through the learning phase and well into the implementation phase. As of January 2019, teachers have begun implementing guided reading and utilizing the literacy libraries. Professional development has continued. This past week, Scholastic provided each elementary campus with a coaching day where they met with each kinder through second grade teacher, discussing and modeling lesson planning and modeling a guided reading lesson. Even in the short time, teachers have seen an increase in the students' confidence. Students look forward to their reading time with their teacher and are eager to show their teacher what they have learned. Next school year, I am excited to share that our third grade teachers will be trained on literacy libraries and the implementation of guided reading. This will truly have an immense impact on our students, a true alignment of the program. In conjunction with NIHouse, iStation, Accelerated Reader, and the Scientific Spelling Program, our teachers are providing our students with a strong literacy foundation. Not to mention, guided reading supports all students and subpopulations. It is student-focused and data-driven. It provides students with authentic learning experiences through the use of literacy library readers, develops confidence in the students and a love of reading, in turn developing lifelong readers which will impact their writing, because we know good readers make good writers. HCISD prides itself on the 4 C's, and guided reading definitely supports critical thinking and problem solving by teaching students reading skills and strategies that they will carry with them all through their educational career and beyond, ultimately resulting in student growth. When I was first named principal at Bowie Elementary, my first task was to review its data. As previously mentioned, Bowie Elementary has a tradition of academic excellence. Staff and students work extremely hard and take much pride in the accolades the campus has earned. As you can see on our Realizing Our Dream 2.0, Bowie Elementary is on the right track, meeting the goals set before us and earning all 6 distinctions. A huge task is maintaining that level of excellence. When I heard the district would be investing in literacy libraries and implemented guided reading, I was thrilled. You see, I have witnessed firsthand the many benefits this program can provide a student, teacher, campus, and district. As a teacher, I implemented guided reading through the use of leveled readers. I saw my students more confident, applying the strategies I had taught them and thinking like good readers. This still holds true. As I walk into the classroom, students are engaged during their guided reading time and are excited and more confident in their reading skills. I am hopeful and optimistic that through the implementation of guided reading and the use of literacy libraries, Bowie students will have a strong literacy foundation and continue to maintain the academic excellence for years to come. Not only has this program made an impact on our students, it has made a meaningful impact on our staff. Here are a few testimonials from our teachers. Our second grade teacher, Mrs. Longoria, wrote, "One thing that was very helpful for me in regards to how to implement guided readings running record was a professional development conducted by Ms. Hayward. Ms. Cancino, our first grade teacher, wrote, "Guided reading has been a breath of fresh air for me as a lifelong learning teacher and by extension my students. I feel their learning paths are a little more tailored to their individual reading needs." Mrs. Lamar, our first grade teacher, wrote, "Some students will learn no matter what I do, but guided reading reaches everyone." And our critical skills teacher, Ms. Hayward, wrote, "The literacy library is full of interesting leveled books. There are so many genres to pick from. Teaching the students at their level has helped the students become more confident and successful in reading." Now I want you to hear firsthand from our staff and students.
The Literacy Library is from Scholastic, and they supply us with over 5,000 books that are all leveled. Right now we have A through P, or A through Q, which is for kinder through third grade. And basically, we find the level of the students, the level of their reading, and then the teachers will check out books of the level and have them in a small group and read the story together, do activities with the story, vocabulary, word study, some kind of skill, and that's basically what the reading is, the guided reading.
I can already see a difference in a lot of their reading. The really neat part of this program is that the low kids have books on their level. And usually what we had done in the past is we were doing a lot of reading for them. They weren't having to do a lot of the reading because they couldn't. So now they're reading on their level and they love it.
I like reading because it's very fun. Also, it helps your brain get smarter.
I like reading books because they're fun, and this year I learned, I think that I could read like any book, like the big books.
Sometimes we read books, we take the ice sip, and in a little while, sometimes we take an AR test. If you get a 100, and your percentages will go up, and your flower will go up. But if you get 0, if you get all of them 0, you won't. Your percentage is gonna go down, and you have to start over. Your flowers is gonna be the same thing. That happened to me, but I know how to read now. Like sometimes, like I make some mistakes, like the Lightning the Queen book. I was taking a test in the end, and it says, did they go home or went to see the Queen? And I said they went home, but it was one mistake, and I tried my best. That's how I do it.
We start out with some sight words. Then we have vocabulary that goes with the story. We kind of preview the story. Then they read it. The different thing here is that they're all reading it at the same time. You're not reading all together. Each person is reading, and then I listen to one person at a time read a little bit. When we're done with that, we discuss it, have some comprehension time. After that, we learn a new sight word, and then at the end, we have some word work. And they love the magnetic letters, but we do more than that. There's more than that to do it, but that's what they remember from today.
Ms. Amar, look, hear us, so if we read correctly, if we read good, she will put a okay next to our name, and that's how you do good, and that's nice. And I just, every time I'm done reading a book, I just do, ooh, and I read it again. Ms. Amar said, like you're done reading it, you read it again.
And I think since it helps the kids so much, because it's on their level, that everybody should start implementing it. Plus the kids enjoy it so much, and I think we're really reaching them on their level.
Just that Scholastic has been very helpful. If a book is missing or if we're missing something, all I have to do is email or call them, and they're very cooperative in getting what we need. So I really like that. We're having a training day coming up in a couple weeks where someone from Scholastic is going to come and show the teachers how to do a lesson plan and work with some students. So they've been really, really helpful. And so I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful for the school district for purchasing it.
Because they make you smart, they make you good degrees, and they make you stay focused and have a good time.
Before I close, I would like to recognize some significant people that are instrumental in the vision and implementation of this program. A special thanks to Mrs. Romero, Ms. Alvarez, the various Scholastic trainers that we've had come to our district, Ms. Hayward, our critical skills teacher, Ms. Steffer, our LMS, our kinder through second grade teachers. I would like to share that Mrs. Lamar is in our audience, who's in the video, as well as Ms. Hayward. Our assistant principal, Mrs. Garza, and our instructional coach, Mrs. Rendon, and of course, our students. In closing, we know that reading is the key to success, so I will leave you with a quote from Dr. Seuss. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. This concludes my presentation on behalf of Bowie Elementary. Thank you. Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. President?
Mr. De Leon.
First of all, Bowie has a special place in my heart. My mom taught there. She was a paraprofessional for over almost 25 years. It was rated great back then. It continues now. Bowie's just amazing. I didn't know a special guest, Sebastian, my little cousin, he's in the audience. I didn't know he was going to be in a movie star on the show right now.
Where is he?
He's right there.
Where?
And I will say he's waiting for a picture with everybody.
He's gonna get one. But I do want to mention one of the things on that guided reading. If there's a common denominator in everything on the success of this, I believe it's going to be on the small class sizes. That is so crucial at a time where classes are filled to capacity. Everybody's functioning at different levels. It's very nice to hear, and it's encouraging to see that one of the very top words that you had on the list was flexible small groups. I like hearing that because a lot of the individuals, especially at that age level, they need a lot of that one-to-one. So hearing that, seeing that, the strategic alliance of how you're implementing the curriculum is just amazing. So I'm so proud of the history that Bowie has always had. I'm so proud that the history is continuing under your leadership now. And the staff and faculty, everybody there is just amazing. And you have an amazing school. And Sebastian is a rock star, movie star. And I promise you, at the end of the board's comments, Sebastian will have a picture with the whole board plus the principal as well.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Mr. De Leon. Thank you for that comment. I'm truly blessed to be at Bowie, and the staff has truly embraced guided reading, especially for that fact that it is very much guided, small group and tailored to the student's needs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jamie, fantastic. Ms. Fleury wants to say a few words.
Well, I'd like to thank you so much. It's really just learning even more. I am delighted, as an old first grade teacher, all of the elements that you've been discussing are things that I remember were necessary, and we all struggled with finding some kind of way to incorporate the various elements that are critical, such as the small group size, but really the specifics, the specificity that you all are using in terms of your approach has got to be significant in all of this. So I have several questions. Number one, are all of our schools actually using this at this point in time?
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
Yes.
Super great. And what grades are involved in this?
Currently, it's kinder through second grade, and next year we will add third grade.
Okay.
Yes,
That's-
ma'am.
That's absolutely wonderful. And
And I will say he's waiting for a picture with everybody.
He's gonna get one. But I do want to mention one of the things on that guided reading. If there's a common denominator in everything on the success of this, I believe it's going to be on the small class sizes. That is so crucial at a time where classes are filled to capacity. Everybody's functioning at different levels. It's very nice to hear, and it's encouraging to see that one of the very top words that you had on the list was flexible small groups. I like hearing that because a lot of the individuals, especially at that age level, they need a lot of that one-to-one. So hearing that, seeing that, the strategic alliance of how you're implementing the curriculum is just amazing. So I'm so proud of the history that Bowie has always had. I'm so proud that the history is continuing under your leadership now. And the staff and faculty, everybody there is just amazing, and you have an amazing school. And Sebastian is a rock star, movie star, and I promise you, at the end of the board's comments, Sebastian will have a picture with the whole board plus the principal as well.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Mr. De Leon. Thank you for that comment. I'm truly blessed to be at Bowie, and the staff has truly embraced guided reading, especially for that fact that it is very much guided, small group and tailored to the student's needs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jamie, fantastic. Ms. Fleury wants to say a few
Yes,
words.
well, I'd like to thank you so much. It's really just learning even more. I am delighted, as an old first grade teacher, all of the elements that you've been discussing are things that I remember were necessary, and we all struggled with finding some kind of way to incorporate the various elements that are critical, such as the small group size, but really the specifics, the specificity that you all are using in terms of your approach has got to be significant in all of this. So I have several questions. Number one, are all of our schools actually using this at this point in time?
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
Yes.
Super great. And what grades are involved in this?
Currently, it's kinder through second grade, and next year we will add third grade.
Okay.
Yes,
That's-
ma'am.
That's absolutely wonderful. And it seems to me like, is this correct? It seems to me like what we're doing is taking what we're gleaning from NIHouse and moving into an application process, and that perhaps NIHouse teaches the specific skills as well, but moves them to the applying it through this. And so I'm interested in that correlation or relationship.
You're correct. So as we work with NIHouse, we started with the phonemic awareness and all those building to the comprehension. But we were missing one piece, and Ms. Salvadez is back in the audience as well. And so as we started meeting with NIHouse, that was the one component that was really missing. And you're right, as a former first grade teacher myself, as you diagnose the children, it was finding the materials at their level. Well, now they don't have to worry about that. With this diagnostic that they do with the testing, the running records, it tells you precisely what level they need to be at. And then it's all there. You just go get it at the library. So that piece was missing with the reading. We had all these other things leading up to it, but we didn't have that part. And so that was, as having conversation with NIHouse, that was our next logical step. And I don't know if Ms. Alvarez wants to add something.
So this really is a great opportunity to apply those decoding skills that children have been working towards. We started in kindergarten, and we started with the reading readiness piece, getting them ready, gearing them up for automatic reading. And so now this piece is actually the application piece of getting them into the text so that they can read and then start building on their comprehension skills. So in the lower grade, our job really is to get them to the reading, the decoding, sounding out the words, so we can really concentrate on building comprehension once they hit third grade. So the children are doing a phenomenal job. I really am so excited about the teachers. I got to sit in with the schools last week and listen to teachers on their questions so that we can continue providing them support and guidance. So it was a fabulous 3 days last week when they got their one-on-one coaching with a Scholastic consultant. So that was an exciting piece for us last week.
Well, I really want to commend you, Ms. Alvarez, and all of you, because we're now getting an awful lot more training in. You know, used to be so easy just to hire teachers, put them in classrooms, and expect that they could snap their fingers and teach reading. Actually, it's one of the most complicated. We talk medical school, we talk law school, we talk different things. Where it's tricky is teaching reading in the early grades. That's where it's really tricky. And you all have found an approach, you know, multiplicity of approaches that are really working. And I do commend you for that. I have a couple of more questions. And just one is, and Carmen will not be surprised that I'm asking this, I'd like to know where we are with dyslexia in terms of incorporating this. You know, I know with NIHouse, we've begun to approach it through NIHouse, but does this or does this not carry through? This number one. And my last question is, do we have any data yet that can really support that this is making the kind of difference that we all, and certainly I, would expect it to? So those two, dyslexia, and is there data yet?
I'll speak to the data because that's my favorite part. We do have actually, and we can share that with y'all. We send data to NIHouse over the 3 years when we started implementation. And there's a huge difference with our tier 3. We have our tier 3, when we first started, it was probably sitting about 30%. We're down below like 10% now. Our tier 1 has also gotten higher. Tier 1's where we want to be, right? We always talk about that tier 1 instruction being very rich, and that's where we want all of our children. Tier 2 is our next level, and tier 3 are the ones that need the intense. But because of NIHouse, we have very little children sitting at tier 3. And I'm sure that that's a direct correlation with the training of our teachers, and they're able to catch those interventions and close those gaps before the children start having more troubles and struggling in that reading area. And as far as the dyslexia, we did have a meeting already with NIHouse, and we're looking at a program for our critical skills teachers where they will become dyslexia interventionists. And so we're working side by side with NIHouse with them. Already, they were here last week, and Ms. Alvarez and I met with them, and I'll let her add anything to what I just spoke to.
I think we're very purposeful in our rollout to include the critical skills teachers as one of the lead persons on the campus to roll out this special piece about the decoding piece with the scholastic guided reading piece. So they're instrumental in working with children in the classroom and now working side by side with teachers in what good reading instruction looks like. Because if we really stop and think about it, there are experts on the campus, because they get a lot of training. They've gotten training on the Herman method, now training with NIHouse so they can understand that piece, and now the decoding piece. So they're very instrumental in what's happening on the campus, and I'm sure Ms. Galan attested to that with Ms. Hayward's excellent work that she provided on her campus. And we are happy to say that that was multiplied throughout the district on the 17 campuses. So yes, they're very much working hand in hand. We're all as a team. We're getting lots of support also from special ed, which I'm very excited about. Joining us in this endeavor and how special ed teachers can support us. So I'll be working with Mr. Garza and see what we can do with his special ed teachers.
A key piece with our literacy libraries is that it provides running records, so you're constantly tracking the students. And so when we talk about flexible grouping, is that student does not remain at that level for the entire, through the running records and the data that they gather, they're able to move up levels. And so that's by all of the knowledge that they acquire from their teacher in that small group. They do another running record, and then they place them on another level based on their needs. So it's constantly evolving.
Sounds like it's a combination of best practices throughout the years
Absolutely.
that have been brought together, right? And you all would know that better. So we look at Bowie and schools like Bowie as our laboratories for helping us really get this right. And it sounds like you're just doing a wonderful job. We're not surprised, but thank you very much. And it helps. I really appreciate your elucidating all of this, because we have to get this right. We have to get this right. It's been a long time in coming, and you all have worked really hard on this. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing the difference in the classrooms. And then as we continue through, of course, we don't stop being dyslexic when we're in middle school or high school, as we've discussed. And so as we carry that on up through the school district, it will change things. It will ultimately be the change. So thank you all for leading the way. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Mr. President, if I could, very important presentation, and I think this sort of highlights what our district is really all about. And we're not just focused on the numerator, but also most importantly, the denominator. We started early, literacy, not too distant past, really was sort of a privilege for those that can, that have the means, whether it's a zip code or means at home and things like that. And unfortunately, for a lot of kids, they just started off behind. And so now with our focus on, pre-K and really early, the NIHOUSE and the early literacy, it's just amazing the opportunities we're giving our kids, that are going to be, it doesn't matter where you live or your poverty, you're going to have the same opportunities for success in life as anybody else, because the most important skill, all skills can only be acquired through literacy, right? And so in all disciplines, it's the foundation. So I just really awesome to see the work. I appreciate the question on dyslexia, because I just learned, thanks to y'all's meeting with NIHOUSE and the folks, that, probably 20% of folks worldwide, but most importantly, some of our most gifted people, 40% of entrepreneurs, right, are dyslexic. Our Speaker of the House right now, Dennis Bonnen, dyslexic. And one of the reasons for a big push for more education funding and everything else. So, but if we can get these these students, these bright students, right, keep them engaged, and not like turned off by the whole I don't get this stuff, and then they're gone. I mean, can you imagine what our college and career readiness rates are going to be when these kids graduate high school? I mean, I can't imagine how many innovators and scientists and educators and lawyers and physicians, whatever that's going to come out of this, because as long as we make sure that we're not creating conformists, that we're creating critical thinkers, we're not killing creativity. We're using literacy to maximize creativity. I know you're doing that. So really proud of the work that you all are doing. I'm curious also to know how we can leverage this sort of important work with our work with UTRGV, because I really feel that we can push the envelope in that regard, because I guarantee you we're ahead of where they are, and we need to push them to do even more, right? And this man can help you do that by really focusing with the leadership there to really do that. And what an amazing opportunity to create our own early literacy experts in this district right here, and be known for that. So thank you all for the great work, Jamie and Lori and Carmen. Amazing. Thank you for spending the time with us tonight.
Mr. Hymas?
Mr. President, real quick, I just want to commend you all, Ms. Galan, for the work you're doing at Bowie, taking over and just, keeping the success that you guys have that Bowie's always had the history. A bunch of my family went to Bowie as well, so it's a school that's always been close to our family. You mentioned collaborating with Mr. Garza. I'm just curious as to what that collaboration would look like with special education and with our students in special population.
Well, going back to training the teachers is really empowering and the teachers and making them knowledgeable in guided reading in those running records, so that when we do those running records with all of our students, we're able to really hone in and target on those reading skills and strategies that they need to be more confident readers, and to enable them to, if they get stuck reading a word or when they're reading, to really comprehend what they're reading. Because I think targeting those skills is what's key, because it's prescriptive to what the student needs versus all of the students. I think that's the key to this.
Thank you.
Mr. President, great presentation, exciting information. So I just want to make sure that I understand how it works. So I apologize for asking this question, but I really want to know the nuts and bolts and the details, because I think it's important for me to be able to explain it to people when they ask me this question. So pretend like I'm one of the students, right? What's the first thing you do? Okay, come on.
This is what I do. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Comes the teacher.
All right, so you're a student in my classroom?
Yes.
I'm going to test you.
I'm little Bobby.
I'm going to have you read a book for me.
All right.
If it's too tough, I'll have you read an easier one. If it's too easy, I'll have you read a harder one, and we'll talk about it. And then I'll put you in a group with kids that are kind of reading in the same area that you are.
Okay.
And then if you're having trouble, I'll meet with you every day. If you're okay, I'll meet with you every other day, a couple of times a week. And then as we work together, hopefully you'll be moving up, and you're going to show great progress, and I'll give you another book to read for me. You'll do fantastic, and you'll move up a level, maybe with the same kids, maybe with some different kids. And then within those groups, we're going to work on a lot of different skills.
Gotcha.
So we'll work on comprehension, vocabulary, sight words, phonics, phonemic awareness. All of that's going to be in our little group that we'll spend time on together every day.
Makes sense. So there's no software being used for the child.
No, not with the child. Most of the software is more for me,
Gotcha.
like to research. Let's say I want to teach main idea. So I would look up main idea on your level and find some books to work with you on main idea. And so that's where the software comes in.
Makes sense. So basically this, go ahead.
Excuse me.
Okay. So teacher's the one that's getting the software skills.
I'm sorry, I just mentioned that this is not a computer-based program. The teacher is leading these lessons on their instructional level.
Gotcha. So the teachers really need to be trained correctly based on the software to make sure that because that's right, really the bottleneck or potential bottleneck. If they're not trained correctly, then we could have problems down the line, downstream, right?
Right, and when we had the Scholastic Coaching Day last week, it was an eye-opener for our teachers because the Scholastic trainer walked them through lesson planning, and then she led a lesson with our students that were all on a level. And so she led that lesson. Teachers were able to watch, write notes, ask questions afterwards. They also met afterwards just to discuss what they saw, questions that they had, and then how to move forward.
Awesome. So this is something that can be duplicated over and over.
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And there's a digital companion that's provided to teachers, and so teachers can log on and they can see videos on demand, whether it's running records, whether it's questioning, whether it's lesson planning, but there's videos on demand that they can watch to help them become more just confident going into implementing
Are they required
it.
to watch these videos?
You're asking me.
Well, that should be the right answer, but it's just want to make sure that because I know that when I get supplemental reading, sometimes I don't read it, right? I'm just being honest. And do we have a system in place to monitor that?
Right. So, as I mentioned, our critical skills teacher, Ms. Hayward, and our LMS, Ms. Steffer, they're our two campus leads, and so they do have trainings with our teachers. But this is also a program that is discussed during our professional learning communities, and so they just discuss this, they collaborate, they bounce ideas off of each other, and that is also a good place to watch these videos together as a grade level.
Okay, so one of the things I didn't tell you in starting this is I'm a super intelligent guy, right? And so I'm an outlier. What do you do with an outlier that's reading like at fourth grade level? What do you do with
So
that?
the beauty of the literacy libraries is that the levels go all the way up to Z. And so that's sixth grade. And so going back to those running records, what do they need? So they have all of the decoding, the phonemic, they know that. So now we're going to target those metacognitive skills, context clues, drawing conclusions, summarization, inferencing through chapter books. And they're chapter books that are at their interests and at their level, their instructional level, and having those in-depth discussions with their teacher.
So now if I'm a remedial student, right, and I'm really not getting it, now the teacher, what was her name?
Mrs. Lamar?
I get to hang out with you after school, or how does that work?
No, sir.
No, not when they're little.
No, I don't know. I mean, what?
So guided reading takes place during their learning centers, and so they do direct instruction for about 45 minutes, and that's their direct instruction. Then they break off into their learning centers, and so they're all working on skills at their centers, and teacher calls the groups to her kidney table, and that's where that instruction takes place. But it's during the day, during her reading
So
time.
it's during the
Yes,
class
yes, sir.
period. And I may be remedial, but we're working remedial.
Yes,
in
and all
class.
kids get called on different days, and so the only difference is they're at different levels and they have their own books. But most of the books are AR books, and so kids want to read it really focused, so that then in turn they can go and reread it,
Right.
and then take their AR test and earn some points as well.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense.
I'll just add one last thing. I think at that level and at that age, it's super crucial, and I know you all have rock star teachers, but it's super crucial that the teachers are excited about teaching that that student, because if the teacher is excited, that means Sebastian is going to be excited, and if they're both excited, that means that they're going to go up a grade level a lot faster. And now the teacher should be excited at all grade levels from K to 12, but even more important at the very early ages, especially if there's no software, it's all one-to-one. So that professional development is super crucial. The knowledge that the teachers have so that they're comfortable, they're confident, and they know exactly what they're going to be teaching. And by doing that, and they're going to be excited teaching it, there's no way that what you're doing can fail.
And I know teachers have really, really loved the fact that the district invested in those literacy libraries. If you walk into Mrs. Hayward's room, as you saw in the video, it's just all the books there. They come with teaching cards, and the digital companion really helps the teachers just feel confident going into this. And they have really, really loved all of the training done by Scholastic as well.
Great job. Great job.
So, go ahead.
I just want to make one comment on Dr. Mace's comment about what happens to me when I get stuck and I'm not making progress. So that's the wonderful thing that teachers have now, because we're becoming more prescriptive.
Good.
And we're trying to analyze and find out why isn't Bobby making the progress that he's making. So in the lower grades especially, does he have display symptoms of dyslexia already?
Right.
So teachers look at the running record is really like a test.
Awesome.
What can Bobby read and not read?
Right.
So then we have to look at to see what is holding Bobby back.
Awesome.
Is he having trouble, say, with sight words that you just learned by sight, and we need to help him with that? Or is is he struggling with the vowel pattern in the word? Teachers will have that in their bag of knowledge to kind of help Bobby get better.
So it sounds like it's just a bag of tools that we can now apply with all of our teachers based on
And so all of
the
this really
experience.
went all the way back to when we started with Night House, because teachers needed that basic understanding of the science of reading, because it is a science. There's so many pieces that have to be working in sync for a child to become a great reader. And so those are the pieces we've been working on like the last 4 years. And so this is the place, but that is what makes it so different, is that it's very prescriptive to your individual needs, and the teacher using her knowledge to get you to move along. Because if you're not progressing at a rate that we feel is you should be progressing, then we start having some serious discussions about intervention.
Gotcha.
And not letting you fall behind and wait, say, for that dyslexia services should you need them, if that happens to be the case. So that's the beauty of having early identification for dyslexia and being able to do guided reading and being able to say what is holding Bobby back, what's holding Gottman back, what's holding Art back. It's not a gray area anymore, because we can look at that and we can use our expertise that we've garnished over the last 4 years to make some very educated decisions with what's happening with this child. We're not like, we don't hear teachers say anymore, oh, he can't read. And I say he can't read because, and that's what we want. That's where we want it to get.
Identifying the problem, that way you can come up
Exactly.
with a solution. So Ms. Alvarez, it sounds like it's very, like you said, prescriptive, and so it's very individualized for the person. And it's exciting based on, I've heard what you said, and I also heard a couple other individuals say, and I'm excited about the fact that you're going to be working with special needs. As you know, I have a special needs child, and that's exciting to hear that, hey, we got some type of tools that we'll be able to use with our special needs population that can be individualized for them. That's exciting, just super, super exciting. It's going to be nice to be able to see that as we get, and hopefully we can get some information in the future regarding those details. I know that you're not Mrs. Gallian's department, but that would be really exciting to see with dyslexia and with our special needs department. It'd be really exciting.
I just got to say, in conclusion of my remarks, we are in a whole new era here. This is a whole new era. And yes, we've been working on it for the 4 years. We struggled and thought we were working on it before, right, Laurie? But by the focus that you all have brought in the last 4 years to this district, and now moving forward, what I see is the difference in terms of being so prescriptive, but really, as I think the gentlemen have mentioned, it's the human investment that's doing it. It's Carmen that's doing it. It's Laura that's doing it. It's Jamie that's doing it. It's the teachers that are doing it. The human talent that we have in this district is now focused and trained to deal with this in a way, Dr. Cavazos, we have never dealt with this before. And so, I thank you for that. This is a whole new era in reading education. So, and to include our groups that we're discussing, special ed and dyslexic children, is critical, and it's going to be done. And so I'm very excited. This is the most excited I've been about reading in this district ever. So it's great. It's great. Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Galan.
Sorry, Sebastian would like his picture.
One thing, Sebastian, I want to know if I can be your agent.
Sebastian, can we be in the picture?
We gotta break it. We gotta do a selfie now. Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're going to
Huh? We'll get you one. We'll get you one certificate. Sonia, do we have a certificate?
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
get you one.
We've been... Shane?
Now we're gonna go with me. Shane.
Shane.
Thank you for everything.
We've been going since 6:30. We're gonna take a 10-minute recess and we'll be right back. Thank you. Is our public comment. Is Delia Cavazos.
Mr. President, I move approve the consent calendar as presented.
Second. All right. It's been moved by Dr. Pettis and seconded by Dr. Muniz that we approve the consent calendar. Is there any other comments on the consent calendar? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Carries unanimously. The next item is matters related to transformation in school support. Dr. Noyola.
Thank you, Mr. President, Dr. Cavazos, board members, senior team, and audience. At our April 2nd Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee meeting, there were two topics that were brought forward for discussion. The first presentation was conducted by the Safety and Security Design Team. The design team, as you know, was created earlier on this year with a team charge of developing a 5-year comprehensive plan that included measurable goals and specific results, much like tailored much like our strategic plan. In that presentation, the design team shared information regarding the research that was conducted as they moved toward developing those goals. As part of that work, there was a lot of feedback coming from focus groups, a number of surveys to parents, students, teachers, community members, as well as focus groups with our local law enforcement as we sought to identify those measurable goals. After all of that work, the committee presented 4 key areas that would comprise a comprehensive safety plan. Those included infrastructure needs, mental health, crisis management, and communication. In addition to those goals, the design team identified some specific results that would guide the work over the next 5 years. Inclusive of that, they shared some action ideas that are currently being considered for implementation. So moving forward, the design team will come together and solidify those action ideas. They will develop a comprehensive proposal where we are able to identify cost structures for a number of the items that we are looking at, as well as identifying what the next 5 years will look like, what will be priority year 1, 2, et cetera. So as we move forward with this plan, we certainly will be coming back to the board on a regular basis to update you on some of those action ideas that will come forward, much like what we've done with our strategic plan. The second item was presented by our Assistant Superintendent for Human Services, Debbie Scoggin, and she shared a presentation on an alternative summer work week schedule. This alternative summer work week schedule is specific to our summer employees. As part of that presentation, she shared that we would be looking at implementing a 4-day summer work week with extended hours. Employees would be coming in at 7:30 to 6 o'clock. She shared many of the benefits of this schedule, particularly to allow time for our parents who oftentimes weren't able to get to our offices because they were getting out of work at 5:30, and our offices were closed. So with these extended hours, that will provide time for our staff to be able to meet with our parents and address some of their needs. In addition, she shared some of the additional benefits that will come to the district as a whole as we talk about energy conservation, increased workflow for our staff, as well as some additional items that we feel will truly be a benefit to our entire school district. That work week's calendar will begin on June 3rd, and again, it will go Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 6 o'clock. Dr. Perez chairs our Transforming Teaching and Learning Committee, and so I will turn it over to him for any additional comments.
Just briefly, we really appreciate the thoroughness of which you've conducted this. The whole, or the design team thought about the whole 5-year strategic plan for regarding safety and security. Just I know it was a lot to discuss in one presentation, but we look forward to the next the follow-ups on that because this is just such important work for not only this community but for all districts, and so we got to get this right, and so I know you will. So very appreciative of all the time that everybody took in really preparing that with the 5 different areas in that, and we'll look forward to the next follow-up on that. The other issue you mentioned, I think this is awesome. I mean, it seems very common sense that you condense it for 4 days, and I think it's going to be increase attendance, increase effectiveness, increase for the whole district. I think it's going to be awesome for the whole community. So in any event, we appreciate again the opportunity for allowing the board to sort of delve in these discussions, Dr. Cavazos and Dr. Noel, and we look forward to the next meeting. And as always, the topics that are presented at this committee are very meaningful, are very timely, and are very important for student achievement. So thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Noyola and Dr. Pettis. The next item we have is matters related to curriculum and instruction, approval of instructional manuals, allotment certification. Tom Hopkins.
Mr. President, members of the board, Dr. Cavazos, I'm seeking approval of the instructional materials allotment certification and the selection of materials from Proclamation 2019. This certification is to ensure that the district is using its instructional materials allotment to obtain materials that cover all the essential knowledge and skills for the subject areas listed on the form. The administration has put in place procedures for ensuring the district is using materials that meet the essential knowledge and skills. Also attached is a list of the materials from Proclamation 2019 that have been recommended for selection by the district. For background information, the timeline for the selection process included from October 2018 through the end of January 2019. Teachers and staff met with publisher representatives and evaluated samples of the materials. On January 22nd, instructional material hearings were held at Harlingen High School staff. Publishers were scheduled for presentations for each subject area. Attendance included teachers from our district as well as those from some neighboring districts. On February 11th, teachers voted for the materials, and runoff voting was held on February 21st. The Instructional Materials Allotment Committee reviewed the voting results and is recommending the selection of titles as they appear on the Instructional Materials Allotment Committee report.
Mr. President, I have a question.
Yes, sir. Mr. De Leon?
Mr. Hopkins, kind of explain to, I know we go through this every year, but it's a process that we do year in, year out. We've been doing that for a long time. What are we doing differently now that we've progressed and there's ebooks? There's what are we doing differently now than 5 years ago?
Just the selection process itself has expanded, so there's more alternative to what kind of materials can be selected. You have digital, but all the materials do meet, like I said, all the knowledge and skills. So even within say one particular publisher, you can still select different packages, and they still all meet the.
Now educate me, because I really don't know. So we're looking at all books, K through 12. Is that correct? The material, everything that goes,
No.
everything in between it?
No.
What is it specifically that we're approving on this, on the certification allotment?
Okay, the state, in the past, the state would actually, you would order one book per student. Now it's a sum of money that's given to each school district. And so from those, but you have to certify that the materials that you're ordering with that allotment do meet the
But
requirements.
it is books that they're going to be purchasing.
Yes. Yes.
So I guess my question is, are we still continuing to buy? And I know that every school is allocated a certain amount of money, and they purchase whatever they're going to be needing. Is that correct?
It's a district selection.
Okay, a district selection.
Yeah.
But is it the same? And I know that there's new additions, like edition 3, and there's a couple of little changes that occur, and we may buy some material that's either there's some additions to it or subtractions to it. But I guess what are we doing differently in purchasing what we're needing for the district that we've done for the past 10, 15 years?
What if I can answer that, or at least try to answer that question? In the past, TA used to purchase the allotment for books. About 8 years ago, when the IMA came into place, they give that allotment to the school districts. So we started to buy those books, and so every year Tom brings by the new adoptions, and that's what we purchase with our own monies, our own allocation.
But the books and
The
whatever
books.
they're needing.
Right.
But when we are, because you're saying vendors come by and they're kind of showing us what they have and and then we look and we purchase it.
Yeah, there's a committee of staff. Tom, who's in the committee that?
Yes, and what we do, we received a list of the materials that are on the approved, that do meet the TEAC. So they're approved by the State Board of Education.
But are there any teachers or any schools that say, time out on purchasing some of these? Why don't we try something different? Why don't we, as long as it still meets all the requirements and everything that's expected by the state, is there things that we're doing innovative or that's what I'm saying? What are we doing? What are we purchasing? What have we provided, gotten from the vendors that we haven't done 3, 4, 5 years ago?
So part of the process, Mr. De Leon, every year the state puts out what book is up for adoption, and so there is textbook allotment money, but they do have guidelines that say if you're going to purchase certain textbooks, they have to meet a certain percentage of the TEACs that are required to be taught. But the biggest piece, and teachers recognize this, is that textbooks are resources. They are not what is used for instruction. And so while we may purchase textbooks with the textbook allotment, we also have monies for our teachers to purchase additional resources that may not be brought forward by the state. And so a lot of that work is guided by our content specialists and people like that, where they actually are looking at what are the materials that are available, because there are some vendors that have materials available that may not have been approved necessarily by the state for a textbook, because sometimes you can find some really good things in workbooks and online materials and things of that nature. So this particular piece that Tom is speaking to is about the textbook side of the house. But in addition to textbooks, through the allotments that Julio puts into place, teachers also have flexibility. Campuses have flexibility to purchase additional materials that they feel will meet the needs. For example, we talked about Scholastic this morning. Those are additional materials and examples of what teachers are able to purchase to supplement the textbook, because again, we never want a teacher to spend their entire time teaching from a book. We want them to find whatever is going to meet the individual needs of kids. And so between the textbooks and programs like what we shared this morning is where we go ahead and take the time to find those materials that will best meet the needs of our students.
And I appreciate that, the explanation, and it makes sense. I just think that, and this is just not, and this has nothing to do with just Harlingen. I think we're at a crossroads, even with post-secondary education, when we're purchasing, and even though the book is a supplement, it's not the main, but it's still purchasing the book again. And I'm kind of, I'd like to sit in one of these meetings where we're all talking about purchasing books and the supplements and all that, because I just feel, and maybe I'm wrong in this, but I just feel that we continue to buy books, and even though those books are supplements and they're good information in it, I just think that right now we're at a time where there's got to be innovative ways of purchasing things, and maybe not going through a traditional books, and maybe there isn't. I'm kind of just curious how maybe other districts or maybe they're utilized, because that's a lot of money that we spend. I mean, how much money do we spend on the purchasing books for this upcoming year?
It's
What
going
is
to be
what is
close
the
to
budget?
$2 million.
Close to $2 million.
Right.
You know, and if we look at spending those $2 million, and those books are supplements, really, and kind of to the point where Dr. Muniz was saying, are we really reading those books? It's kind of like at a university. You buy a book, a biology book. The book has never been even opened.
I read the whole thing.
Me too. But that's success from you and I. But a lot of times the book is brand new, and a college student hasn't even opened it, and I'm just scared that maybe those are some of the things, and maybe it's where we don't buy each student a book. Maybe it's a resource book that people can. I don't know.
So one of the ways that we can use the instruction materials allotment is also to buy technology-related items. We purchase a lot of different, computers, Apple products through the IMA dollars as well, to enhance the instructional classroom.
I would like to see if Mr. President, I would like to see what we were doing and how we were purchasing and how we were utilizing the resources 4 years ago to now, and just see if there's a correlation of any, if there's any correlation, if there's any differences. I'd like to just see, if there's a difference, or I'd hope we'd be doing something different. $2 million is nothing to sneeze about. We have to be good stewards of the dollar, and at the same time, I think we really need to be looking at. I don't know. I'm going on.
So let me.
But I just will conclude with this. I would like Dr. Cavazos, if I could, I would like to be involved or be maybe the next meeting, just so that I can sit in, I can educate myself, and maybe everything is we're spending it to its fullest, and we're being as creative and innovative as we possibly can. But I'd like to sit in one of those committees.
Let me offer a couple of points for clarity. We are required to buy materials for the teachers and for the students, and so we've moved away from an individual textbook for every student. We buy class sets in some cases and so forth. But let me do this. Let me get with you and get more clarity in what it is you're needing so that you feel comfortable in what we're doing, and kind of go back and look at what we've done. And then we'll go from there. And if it helps for you to visit with staff, then we can do that as well, because it is a lot of money and we want to be responsible to that. And with the scholastics and that investment and so forth, and the other types of investment that we're making, we want to make sure we have the best resources for teachers. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. Mr. President, I move approval of the instructional materials allotment certification as presented.
Second.
It's moved by Dr. Pettis and seconded by Mr. De Leon. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Hopkins. The next item is the approval of interlocal cooperation agreement between Cameron County and Harlingen CISD. Mr. Joseph Villarreal.
Mr. President, I move, oh, go ahead, sir, sorry.
Good evening, President Powers, board members, Dr. Cavazos. I stand before you to propose for consideration for your approval an interlocal cooperation agreement between Cameron County and Harlingen CISD, which would permit our Harlingen High School South, Air Force, Junior ROTC, as well as other cadets and students to assist Cameron County Precinct 4 with the filling of sandbags as part of Operation Sandbag as we prepare for hurricane season here in Cameron County.
Mr. President, I'd like to move approval of the interlocal cooperation agreement between Cameron County and Harlingen CISD as presented.
Second?
May I ask a question, please?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm assuming that the programs themselves are interested in doing this.
Yes.
This is not an imposition upon the program.
No, not
Is
at
that
all.
correct?
Yes, not at all.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, we have a motion by Dr. Muniz and a second by Mr. Hymas. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We've covered the next one. And so we move to matters relating to business services. The first item is consideration and approval of health insurance and pharmacy plan changes. Julio Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 9A is consideration and approval of health insurance and pharmacy plan changes. The Employee Benefit Committee met earlier today to discuss some changes to our health insurance plan. Our consultants were there to go over these changes. The committee was receptive to the following changes. Adding chiropractic services to the specialty copay, adding some pharmacy programs such as advanced utilization management, Safeguard RX, advanced opioid management, a Save On SP discounts. By adding these programs and these new benefits, we estimate that we would save about $862,000 in our plan per year. Again, we discussed this at the Employee Benefit Committee earlier today, and the committee members were in agreement with the recommendations. We recommend approval. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Mr. President, I make a motion for approval of the health insurance and pharmacy plan changes as presented by the administration.
Second?
Moved by Mr. De Leon, seconded by Dr. Reiniger. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item B, consider approval to extend contract for financial auditing services. Julio Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 9B is consideration to extend our contract for auditing services with CRI. Quinn Anderson, partner from CRI, provided us an engagement letter, which is attached to your agenda item. Fees are comparable to last year. Since we're starting a fiscal year this year in July, the audit will be due in November as opposed to January, so it's 2 months earlier. We recommend approval. We've been happy with that firm for a number of years. Be glad to answer any questions.
I have questions of Mr. Quentin Anderson. Where is he?
Yeah.
I'd like to table, move approval to extend the contract for financial auditing services as presented.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Pettis, seconded by Mrs. Fleurier. Sorry, guys. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item 9C, consideration and approval of board resolution to extend bank depository contract BNKD 0415 and for 2019-2021 as authorized under TEC Chapter 45, Subchapter G. Julio Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 9C is consideration and approval to extend our bank depository contract We have the option to extend this bid for 2 more years, and this is the last time that we can extend it before we bid it out the next time. We have been placed with Frost Bank and are recommending approval to extend our depository bid for 2 more years at the same contract terms as before. And we did talk to the Frost Bank representatives, and they were in agreement to, to extend it as well. We recommend approval.
I move approval of board resolution to extend the bank depository contract BNK D0415 for 2019 through 2021 as authorized under TEC Chapter 45, Subchapter G.
Second. Who seconded? Bobby?
Mr. Hymas.
Hymas, okay. Moved by Dr. Reiniger, seconded by Mr. Hymas. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item 9D, consider approval of low attendance waiver days for Treasure Hills Elementary School on September 26, 2019, and Harlingen High School on February 4, 2019. Julio Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 90 is considered to approve low attendance waivers, one for Treasure Hills and one for Harlingen High School. On 2 different days, we had low student attendance at these schools. The attendance were more than 10% lower than the year before. The district is able to submit a waiver if it's 10% or more to TA. They will allow the district not to count these days for attendance for funding purposes. If we don't count these days, that means our average for that 6 weeks is greater, which means more funding for us. We recommend approval.
Mr. President, I'm assuming this is September 26, 2018. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. I move approval. Move approval of low attendance waiver days for Treasure Hills Elementary School on September 26, 2018, and Harlingen High School on February 4, 2019, as presented.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Pettis, seconded by Mrs. Fleury. All those in any further discussion?
That's what you call oversight, sir.
Yes.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. The next item is 9E, consideration for approval and to award construction services contract for the 2018-2019 Harlingen CISD Gutierrez Middle School Gym and Harlingen High School South Mini Gym flooring replacements, bids C9 ST0319-4. Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 9E is consideration and approval to award the contract for the gym work at Gutierrez and Harlingen High School South. Ranking committee met and ranked the 3 proposals we received. The committee is recommending the top rank offer of Siwa Construction at a cost of $505,000. I'd be glad to answer any questions the board might have.
What was the budget on that, sir?
I'll speak on the budget for that. On the gym. Yeah, it's 650. It was around
So,
650,000.
145 under
Mhm.
budget.
Do I have a motion?
Mr. President, I make a motion for approval to award the construction service contract for the 2018-19 Harlingen CISD Gutierrez Middle School Gym and the Harlingen High School South Mini Gym flooring replacement bid CNST 0319-4 as presented by administration.
Second.
Moved by Mr. De Leon, seconded by Dr. Reiniger. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Let's see, the next one is G, right? F, I'm sorry. Consideration for approval to award construction services contract for the 2018-2019 Harlingen CISD civil site improvements at Harlingen High School, Kano Academy, STEM 2, and Bogus Stadium bid number C9 ST0319-1. Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 9F is consideration approval for civil site work at Harlingen High School, Kano, STEM Square, and Bogus Stadium. A ranking committee met and ranked the 6 proposals we received. The committee is ranking the top rank offer of G&G Contractors at a cost of $281,641.74. We did discuss this at our facility committee meeting last week. We recommend approval.
Are there any questions? Do I have a motion?
I move approval to award the construction services contract for the 2018-2019 Harlingen CISD civil site improvements at Harlingen High School, Kano Academy, STEM Squared, and Bogus Stadium bid C NST 0319-1.
Second.
All right, moved by Dr. Reiniger, seconded by Dr. Muniz. Any further discussion?
Is that also under budget?
Yes, that came in under budget.
Thank you.
All right. Any further questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item G, consideration for approval to award construction service contract for the 2018-2019 Harlingen CISD Harlingen High School South Phase 2 AC controls and mechanical improvements, bid number CNST 0319-3. Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 9G is consideration and approval to the work contract work for AC work at South. A ranking committee met and ranked the two proposals we received. The committee is recommending a top rank offer of Central Air and Heat at a cost of $515,500 plus alternate number 1 of $175,000 for a total of $690,500. The budget for this was $750,000, so that's what we thought that we could add alternate number 1. We did discuss this at our facility committee meeting last week, and we recommend approval.
Mr. President, move approval to award construction services contract for the 2018-19 Harlingen CISD Harlingen High School South Phase 2 AC controls and mechanical improvements BID.
Yep.
Bid CNST 0139-3 as presented.
Next.
Okay. Moved by Dr. Pettis, seconded by Mr. De Leon. Is there any further discussion on this item? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. Item H, consideration for approval to award services contract for the 2018-2019 Harlingen CISD drinking fountain improvements at various elementary campuses. Bid number CNST 0319-5. Mr. Cavazos.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. Agenda item 9H is consideration and approval for drinking fountain improvements at 8 elementary campuses. Ranking committee met and ranked the 3 proposals we received. The committee is recommending the top rank offer of G&G Contractors at a cost of $329,036. The budget for this one was $300,000. This was a little bit more than what we budgeted for, but we felt with the savings from the other projects, we could do these 8 elementary schools, and we would need 3 more elementary schools to finish the fountains, which is Wilson, Stewart, and Dishman. We're planning to do that next year. We did discuss it at our facility committee meeting last week as well, and we do recommend approval.
Mr. President, I move approval to award construction services contract for the 2018-2019 Harlingen CISD drinking fountain improvements at various elementary campuses, bid number CNSTO 319-5.
And as I love great drinking water for our students, I second that.
Such enthusiasm.
That is. Wow.
That was the second and comment. That was awesome.
I guess any more discussion here? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the drinking fountains are approved.
All right.
All right.
Some of us are really
Unanimously.
pleased. Yeah, unanimously. We're pleased.
Clean water. Okay. The next item, Julio's finally out of here. Matters related to human services. Dr. Noyola, please. Approval of recommended revisions to policy update 112 on second reading.
Thank you, Mr. Powers, Dr. Cavazos, board members. We bring for your consideration and possible approval recommended revisions regarding policy update 112 on second reading. These policies were thoroughly discussed at our policy audit committee last month, which was held on March 19th, 2019. Administration recommends approval on second reading. Mrs. Fleurier chairs our policy audit committee and may have additional information to share.
This is a reminder to the board, you will recall that most of these are just structural updates. There's nothing of change consequence in regard to this, and we did discuss it in the committee in detail, and I believe there was full support. So therefore, I'd like to move approval of the recommended revisions to the policy update 112 on second reading.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Fleurier, seconded by Dr. Muniz. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. The next is the school board continuing education report. Let the record reflect.
Hold on. Are you sure, Mr. Powers?
Well, we haven't counted the superintendent's hours.
They're right.
Recheck Dr. Baldwin Muniz and allowed you to.
I'm going to bring Sebastian back. I want to report for the record that every board member has met their continuing education requirements
Right.
for the year.
Who has,
And some far exceeded it. So.
who has the most? And you can't say McShann. He's not here anymore. Who has the most?
All right. The next item is matters relating to district operations. Facilities Committee report. Oscar Topian.
Yes. Thank you, President Powers, members of the board, Dr. Cavazos, audience. On April 1st, we had a Facilities Committee meeting. First item we discussed was energy rates. Mr. Julio Cavazos gave a presentation on what the market is doing right now with electrical rates. We are locked in through May 2020, but there's an opportunity to get very, very low rate similar to what we have now in a long-term contract, and Mr. Cavazos will be monitoring that, and if there's anything to bring forth, he'll do something around the May board meeting to see if we're able to find a long-term rate there. The next item we talked about was the update on the Safe Routes to School grant program that's through TxDOT. The city of Harlingen advised us that this program is back up and running, so they're working with us to submit applications to meet the first deadline of April 1st, which already passed. And we'll work with them on other information surveys for the schools to try to get the selected projects into the summer with surveys back to them, and then we'll work with them on the step 2 process. TRE program updates. We gave an update on the Treasure Hills Elementary 2-story wing and the progress they're making there. We discussed the security fencing and some of the minor snags we run into with some issues with the contractor, but we're working on ironing those out. We have a new freezer cooler at Health Professions that's already actually operational. The baseball fields, the canal fields are being done by maintenance, and that project's almost complete. Civil jobs that we have, drinking fountains, the HVAC at South, and the gym flooring were all just approved tonight. So that was the update we gave at the meeting. The canopies at Zavala and Harlingen South are getting close to bidding out. Elementary playground upgrades. I gave some photos of the finished work we got at Bonham, Jefferson, Zavala, with new playground equipment and PE fitness improvements at all the other elementary schools that we presented. The new testing center at the administration annex has been completed by our maintenance department in-house. We're just waiting for the furniture to be ordered and the technology piece and some cameras to come in so we can complete that. And that work will be done during the summer. There were no change orders or closed final payments to present. And Julio Cavazos ended the meeting with an update on the construction financial report. That's the end of my presentation. I'll turn it over to our acting chair, Mr. Powers.
Let me just comment on a couple items. The weather has, as Oscar I think mentioned, has hurt us a little bit on our Treasure Hills, which is nothing we can do about it. We still think we'll have a transition like we did at the Health Professions. It'll be a smooth transition when the time comes. The photographs of the completed work now look really superb. I mean, it looks like the project really looks really beautiful. I'm compliment you all for being on top of the security fencing. We didn't get the right gauge of wire that we thought we were getting, and they're going to the contractor's stepping up and doing the right thing and replacing it. The baseball fields, if you haven't had a chance to drive by them, they look terrific. Your staff did an outstanding job on the fields. They look really, really nice.
Is the board allowed to take batting practice?
The cages aren't up yet.
Please let me know when they are.
The drinking fountains are going to be a great, Belinda, the great drinking fountains, if you didn't see the pictures, look terrific. We'll be.
Greg is just as excited as Belinda and I.
As long as they don't take down the historic one over at the practice field. Gym flooring's great. I'm real excited about, Jerry and I remember the ROTC people at Harlingen South requesting this canopy for drilling purposes, and I know they're excited about it. And the testing center looks great. They've completed the remodeling, and I mean, y'all are doing just an outstanding job. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Powers.
Okay, our next item on the agenda is, let's see. Executive session. Wow. So, We are going to adjourn now into closed or executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.082 of the Open Meetings Act for the following purposes. Discuss recommendations regarding employment of the renewal of educators and professional contracts for probationary term and other contract employment for 2019-2020. And we are going to discuss teachers and other professional staff. We are now adjourned into closed or executive session.